Hi everybody, I'm Anne Connor and I've worked in the water business for about 25 years and never in all of that time has it been more important, necessary or expected to look at your water usage to see how it can be a positive contribution to going net zero. This graphic just shows you the relationship between water and energy and carbon. So every stage of the water cycle, whether it's water storage, water treatment, where you use it in your buildings or back to storage again, there's a carbon element associated with that. So it's up to you guys to look at that, include water in your strategy and make it a positive contributor for you. So I think everybody knows the fact of the matter is we just don't have enough water. We might have had a wet winter and we think there's loads of water kicking about, but at the end of the day, there's just not enough there. There's millions of statistics out there that can support that. And you guys in the room, I'm thinking because you're sitting here looking at me, you must be involved in some way in the water industry, potentially sustainability, looking at the carbon footprint, and it's up to you. It's up to you to make a plan to reduce the water. But sadly, that's not without its challenges. So I attend a lot of events, I speak to a lot of people and I ask them what the challenges are that they face in order to help them to get to net zero. And one of the big things that happens is when it comes to water, it gets a nod. You get your targets. Targets are imposed on you, but you get little or no budget behind you to help you to get there. You also have little or no resource, if any, to help you get there as well. So what that means is you guys need to go out into your businesses and speak to your stakeholders. The challenges you meet there is some of them just don't care, some of them don't know, and some of them know, but it's not really high on the list of priorities. So what that means for you is you have to go out there, you have to educate people, you have to negotiate with people, you have to get people on board, you have to show them how this can work for them, how does this help them and what they do so that you can meet your goals and targets. But in order for you to have those conversations with those people, you have to know what the ask is. What am I going to say to these people? What am I going to ask them? And one way of doing that is obviously to follow this process. So if you work in partnership with your water retailer, you can ask them to look at your water. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? How am I going to get there? And then ultimately, how do I measure that? How do I show that I've made progress there? So water audits is one of the big things that we do. If we don't know where we use water and where we potentially waste water, where we can save water, how can we make a plan to reduce it? So once you've got your water audit in place, water audits will basically show you the as-is situation, this is where you are just now. And then feed into that your goals and targets and the things that you need to recommend and the implementations that we would recommend in order for you to get there. And that forms your plan. Ultimately, people might do those things, they might give a nod to it, they might make the plan, but it's not really any use doing it if you don't measure it and show that you've made progress. So you're probably sitting there thinking, right, and gas and electricity, there's massive savings to be had there, but what can we save in water? So this is just a flavour of a few wee projects that we've done at Water Plus over the past couple of years, whether it be water audits, encouraging customer meter reads, or installing data loggers. In each and every one of these situations, we can save loads of water for the customer. And when we save water for the customer, that ultimately means that we've saved energy as well, and it also contributes to the carbon footprint for that customer. So the top one there, the water audits, we did a few hundred audits in conjunction with one of our wholesalers. And the average saving that we spotted for our customers was 36%, a third of the water they could easily save just putting in the sort of minimum measures there. But that's not all we can do, those things. At Water Plus, we've got a dedicated advanced services team. These are the really techie people, and they'll look at your industry type, your portfolio type, and they'll be able to recommend the best wins, the biggest wins, the quickest wins. If you're an industrial customer, it might be a full process audit. Let's look at everything down to the trade effluent plants or lack thereof potentially. Commercial customers, it might just be your water efficiency audit, taps and toilets. Where can we save water there? Can we do any retrofit upgrades to our plumbing to make things more efficient? Public sector, again, water audits probably benchmarking as well. There's loads of different options and our advanced services teams are the guys that you need to get access to through your water retailer. They're the experts, they'll tell you where the best place to focus all of your efforts is. So we spoke about the process where you do your audit, you put your goals in place, you put in your recommendations, and then I said to you, you need to measure it, you need to show your progress. And we've partnered with a company called Zeller who developed a platform. It's more so for gas and electricity in the beginning, so it basically, you stick in your address and it tells you your emissions, it tells you your gas and electricity usage. So we've partnered with these guys to develop that platform to include water as well, so that you've got everything in the one place. It works a bit like a credit score. The score is out of 1,000, but it's based on your science-based target initiatives. So it's based in science, but it gives you a score. And for all of the things that you implement, it can show you a reduction in your score. It's also got some awesome reporting functionality, where it might just be data or it might be visual, but they also do reports. I think it's the Skills Climate Initiative in England. Sorry, I'm from Scotland. And they also do the government and NHS supplier report, so that helps you if you're tendering for these kind of businesses. So I just wanted to leave you with some advice. If you're going to go out to the market and find a new retailer, when you're partnering with a retailer, these are the things that are important. Include your targets in the tenders. Don't just go for the basic, I just want a water supplier to send me a bill. If water strategy is included and water reduction is included, include that in your tenders. Understand though that in the water industry, retail margins are much, much tighter than in gas and electricity. So you get a bit of a saving on a water contract, but the big prize is by signing up with the right company that's got the additional services that can help you get to where you need to be. When you're tendering as well, keep your requirements wide enough that you don't exclude any of the retailers. You want to get as many responses back as possible so that you can see what's out there in the market, see what's available. So don't put anything in there that you're absolutely certain everyone can't do. For example, apprenticeships in a specific geographical area. Sometimes these are asked for, but if that water retailer doesn't have an office in that area, they're never going to be able to satisfy that recommendation for you guys. So just keep them open so that you get loads of quality answers back. You can also choose to partner with a retailer that's got the same goals and targets as you. Potentially, we work with sustainability development goals, we've got EcoVadis, and if these things ring a bell with you, you want to partner with a company that has and does the same things. Potentially, you might want to make sure that they understand the funding available to you, especially in public sector. The public sector decarbonisation scheme announced over £1 billion in funding for public sector organisations, and sometimes your retailer can help you navigate that process. And looking back to the reporting side of things, in order to get that funding, you need to prove what you've done. So the reporting helps you with that. And the last thing, focus on the small changes for success in the long run. A lot of people want to go for big ticket items, rainwater harvest and those kinds of things, but really if you've got a big portfolio, you can do the small things on a daily basis, and that'll get you where you need to be in the long run and tick all your sustainability goals. So the question is, can you afford to ignore water on your journey to net zero? You really can't. You guys can focus on gas and electricity all you want, but you don't need to do that and then do water. You can do it in parallel, because water retailers, we're your experts. You're not taking any resource away for your gas and electricity by coming to us and asking us to do this for you and shape those plans for you. And I was having a wee think. I was to speak for 10 minutes here, and I thought, how can I bring it to life for you? So I spoke to our value-added services team about leaks, underground leaks and things like that. So if there was a 10 litre a minute leak during this 10 minutes that I was speaking to you, you would have lost 100 litres of water. You're like, well, okay, I'd rather not lose it, but if it goes unchecked over the period of a year, that's 5.3 million litres of water that you'll lose. That'll cost you £18,000, and it's the equivalent of 2.3 tonnes of carbon. So at the end of the day, you really need to include water in your strategy to get to net zero. If you don't, you're never going to get there.